All right, welcome back to episode 3. I think we're still in season 1, episode 3 of the Closing Time podcast with Travis.
I think we're still in season 1.
Travis and...
Oh, this is Brian. Yep.
Well, it kind of leads into the question, right? Like, how many episodes do we have to do before we're a legit podcaster?
Hundreds. I don't know.
No, there's no way it's 100. Like...
More than 3?
10?
We're
going to call it 10. I think
it has less to do with the number of episodes and the number of listeners. And so if we've gotten up to 7 or 8 listeners at this time, we're making progress.
So we can use this time as a reminder to like and follow, subscribe to the podcast. If you have questions that are related to the mortgage or real estate industry or life in general, drop those. We'll answer those when we can on the podcast. Comment things you like and don't like about the podcast. Give us feedback.
We've actually gotten a couple of good questions from listeners, so
yep.
we do appreciate that very much.
But on episode 3, we wanted to kind of dive into the lender realtor relationship, and I think first thing that kind of comes to mind for me is we want to be a team, and we want to pitch ourselves as a team. We're a unit. We're a part of the real estate agents team from my perspective as a lender. But I'll ask you that question on how do you, from a high level perspective, how do you see the lender realtor relationship?
Yeah, there's so many things that we could talk about on this topic that I think are important. I think the lender, obviously, selfishly speaking, is one of, if not one of the most important people that could be involved in the real estate transaction,
yep.
Right? Most of the successful agents that I have worked with view their lender as a partner, not a vendor. And so I think that's important. A lot of agents, or a lot of what I hear from a lot of loan officers, is that I'm just a vendor, or I'm just a whoever to my realtor. They just use me as one of anybody, that like all money is the same. If you don't take care of them, somebody else will,
right.
kind of thing. And I think that's a bad mentality to have as a real estate agent, whether I'm your lender or somebody else is, or you. And it's like, it doesn't matter who your lender is. View that person, he or she, as a partner that should be able to help you grow your business and hold you accountable to a higher standard, so that you can earn higher levels of income and help more families and close more transactions. And I think most successful loan officers have really good relationships with their best referral partners that are like that. Like, we're not dumb. We understand that most buyers don't care about the mortgage. What they care about is the shiny object at the end of the rainbow, which is their new home. And so because of that, most of the leads, most of the inquiries from a new home buyer are going to the realtor first. And that makes sense as a mindset for a buyer. That makes a lot of sense to me. Ideally, they would come to the lender first so they can know that they can afford to buy the house that they want to. But most agents understand that as a process as well. And so they're going to refer, like, the lead flow starts from the agent to the lender 90+% of the time.
In most cases. Yeah. I think I would say my most enjoyable, and then on the other side of the coin, if we're looking at it from a business standpoint, profitable relationships with referral partners. We have gone past the being a vendor. We're friends, right? Like, we go to events together. Our families do stuff together. Doesn't have to be an all the time thing, but they're just as concerned with how's family going, what's going on with the kids, what's going on in life, as they are, what's going on with the lead I sent you on Monday. Like, that's our job, is to update them on that. But to build what we believe in, they have to know, like, and trust us to get to the trust part, which is the big building block. If they trust us, they're going to send us more business. You have to be relationship versus, you know, a just lead driven deal between the two of you. And I think both of us have focused on that. You know, you've got a big group down in Charleston, and y'all had a half work day, half spend some time on the beach with each other day last week, I think it was. And I think that's one thing that we have always done well, is building that relationship that goes beyond the closing table. You like how I tied that in?
Goes beyond closing time.
Closing time. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, most of the relationships that I have that are longer term, you become friendly with over time. I do a poor job of spending social time with agents that I work with. And I don't know that the agents that I work with want me at their kid's birthday party. I mean, I haven't been invited to very many, so I don't know if that's the case or not. What I know is I'm very friendly with people. I do understand what's going on in their personal life as much as I can, and I want to be as helpful as I can. So, like, for me, I go into each of my like top 10, 15 realtor relationships with the mindset of my job is to help you grow your business. Mm-hmm. I can do that in a lot of different ways. Number one is I can refer you business when I have it, right? And so, we were talking about data right before we started recording, and I do. I've generated 52 internet leads year to date, and I've been able to refer out 11 pre-approved buyers to agents that I work with. Now, what a lot of loan officers do, if they get, like, in the one-off that they get a deal that it doesn't have an agent attached to it, they will go try to get a new realtor relationship with that deal.
Right.
And I did that for the first 10 years of my career, and then realized that that's dumb. What I need to be doing is rewarding the people that reward me, right? And so if you're helping me and my family, I want to help you and your family. And so my mission is to go out there and try to find a deal for you somehow. And so I think that a good lender-realtor relationship has the lender with the mindset of, my job is to get you a deal or two every single year if I can.
Right.
Now, that doesn't always happen. It's harder for us to generate those leads, but we have systems in place that are designed to do that, right? I mean, we call every single Tuesday, every buyer, every listing agent, every buyer's agent, a standard mortgage industry Tuesday update practice, but our scripting and our teams are trained to ask those buyers for referrals so that we can hopefully get a deal that the realtor would have missed.
Right. And I think we're both involved in our communities as well, and that has some grassroots leads that generate from it. But one thing that you just said that I do want to hit on is the number of leads that loan officers have to hand out. I think there are many real estate agents in the business that have this myth that lenders have all of these leads that we hand out to everybody every month. I would say we're in the top 1% of loan officers in the United States. And I mean, I might have 15 to 18 a year, maybe, if I'm lucky on a good year. And we talked about mindset in episode 2, and I've had some conversations with real estate agents, and their lead pitch is, well, send me a lead and I'll send you business. And that is a quantity versus
That's
quality.
That's a lender mentality, and it's bullshit, and it's somebody that I would choose not to work with.
Right. And so I 100% agree with you. I am only actively referring people, even who need to sell their house or investment properties or whatever, to real estate agents who are actively in relationships with our group and what's going on around us.
Well, look, I mean, some people just, as a loan officer, the mentality typically is, I want to work with any agent that can refer me a deal. And that's understandable from the loan officer's perspective when you don't have a full book of business.
Right.
And so there's nothing wrong with that. I totally understand that. And in some aspects of my business, I'm still like that. I still will never turn down a lead. I want that business. That's how I feed my family. That's what we want. Right. But to your point, I want to have good relationships with people that value what we can provide.
That's right.
And from a real estate agent's perspective, you should also want good relationships with a lender that shares values and that provides value to you. And it's not just referring business. That's one of the things that we can do, but like, we want to make sure that we're taking the load off of the agent as much as possible so that they can focus their time, not on tracking down information on their active contract, but on generating new contracts. Go out and get another listing, go out and get another buyer lead. And so our whole system is set up in a way that we're designed to take as much of the workload off of the agent as we possibly can. So a value add, in addition to maybe referring you a deal, would be saving you a bunch of time. You know, we've set up our business and we're really good on the operations side. So it's very rare that we don't close on time. Like, our purchase contracts just close, and they close on time, and they close stress-free to the agent and the buyer.
Correct.
We're not 100% perfect on that, but top 1%, I would probably say we're at.
I would say we're dang near close to 100% on what we can control.
Yeah.
There are always curveballs that are beyond our control that may result in a small delay. But I think we're batting close to 1,000.
Well, it's little things, because a lot of lenders would say, I can't control the fact that the buyer went out and bought a car 3 days before purchase. I would say you did a poor job educating your buyer on how important it is to not make any big financial transactions before they close on their house.
Yep.
And so we're 100% on what we can control, and we control a lot more than your average lender will control.
Yeah.
And so I would say that the majority, if not all of our agents, would say that their business is better and smoother as a result of partnering with Travis Blayton or Brian Pearl.
Correct.
Or the Palmetto Mortgage Group or Cross Country in general, right? Yep. And so that's important when it comes to the lender-realtor relationship. That's one of the things that I would say has a really high value. We want to make sure that your job is easier and you're able to close more deals with less stress and less time involved as a result of partnering with us. And we take a lot of pride in that.
I mean, it's our top 3 job as a lender in that relationship is to provide value. And value can be determined many different ways. And I think one of those is saving you time as a real estate agent. We also do that kind of selfishly, because I want you to go find more deals that then I can build my team bigger to help you close more deals and get more leads and make more money. I mean, that's what we go to work for, is to help people, and the spinoff of that is we all make more money from it.
Everybody wins as a result of the philosophy that we deploy.
And so I think adding value, and we've talked about that forever, is you know, when we sit down with any referral partner, it's how we need to express to them how we add value to what they do day in and day out. You know, when I got here this morning, Levi and I were talking about how a lender, or how a real estate agent, refers a lender, or I guess it can be conversely, how a lender would refer a real estate agent matters. And the example that I gave Levi, because I think this is a big thing in our industry that really doesn't get talked about a lot. And I think, you know, we talked about in episode 2 how the number of loan officers and the number of real estate agents has decreased dramatically. How we as a team can differentiate ourselves. And I think a big thing about that sets up a relationship transaction is how they're referred. and I know we get coached on that a good bit. And I know I can speak for myself. I have not done a good enough job coaching agents on how to refer. And Levi asked me, like, what do you mean? Give me an example. And so my example was using Levi. What he's done for us on a brandability, social media type stuff has been awesome. And so if I simply had somebody ask me, do you know somebody who does social media work, videography, that sort of thing? And I said, yeah, let me text you Levi's number. And that was the end of the conversation. Or if I said, Brian and I started working with Levi over a year ago, and we have grown our brand, and we have moved into other markets and have been able to have a positive impact on real estate agents, our teams, our branches, and what he does is absolutely amazing. He is one of the most genuine human beings I've ever met. And I want to have Levi call you. Better yet, can I call you in about an hour? I'm going to have Levi on the phone and I'm going to introduce y'all and then I'm going to step out of it. And so y'all can have a conversation. Pick A or B. Which one of those is going to win 100% of the time?
Well, clearly B, but even worse is we get a lot of the A type referrals that would be like saying, hey, here's Levi's number. He's got the cheapest rates in town. He's the best priced videographer in the world.
Yeah.
And like to your point, if the realtor views us as a partner and not a vendor, they obviously trust us at that point. And when they're making a referral, if they said, hey, call Travis, call Brian, I have full faith that they're going to give you the best possible deal they can and put you into this house, and I guarantee you they'll meet your closing date. That's a way better referral than, hey, I'll have Travis call you.
Yeah,
hey, call Travis. He's got the best price in town.
A lot of what I even get is a text message with a person's first name and a telephone number.
Yeah, with no context, that's harder. Yeah, I mean, yes, the way people are referred, and it's tough for us. The reason probably that you haven't done as good of a job as you could have coaching your agents is because the fear that is, if I'm telling you how I want to be referred, it seems very self-serving.
It does.
It doesn't though, because when you get into the full context of it, the agent is going to benefit if they make better referrals. Their conversion rates are going to be through the roof if they have a smooth transaction, right? They're going to get more referrals after the fact if they have a smooth transaction. And the way that you create a smoother transaction is by being detailed and confident and providing a high level of information about personal experiences you've had with a lender on the referral. So it's like, I hear this a lot of times also from agents. Hey, you're on my list of 3. Anytime I get a buyer lead, I send them 3 names and I put your name on there. Cool. Well, you know what happens in that scenario? You're asking a buyer who buys a house once every 7 or 8 years, or maybe a first-time home buyer, to call 3 different lenders in the biggest transaction they've ever had in their life with the most confusing loan estimates they've ever seen in their whole life and be able to determine which was the best avenue for them to go down. You gave them no value as a real estate agent. You didn't give them a recommendation with a reason. And I totally understand from the realtor's perspective wanting to limit their liability. And the fear is if I refer Travis and tell them that they should call Travis, that if something goes bad, they're going to sue me later on. But there's no law that states that. That's some myth in the real estate world that I don't know where it came from. But for the record, there is no law that states you have to refer 3 lenders. That's BS. It got made up somehow, and I don't know where it came from. But I still get, from a realtor's perspective, wanting to save face or limit liability if something goes wrong on the lending side. So the way that you should refer, if you want to potentially give multiple people, is, hey, Travis, you as a buyer, you can call any lender that you want. I have a really strong working relationship with Brian Prawl. I highly recommend him. He's helped a lot of my past clients. All of them have been really happy. Here's his number, or I'm going to have him call you. By the way, if something doesn't work out or if it's not a fit, call me back, because I have other lenders that I've worked with that also are really good, and I'm happy to refer one of them then.
I've given that same spiel to so many agents who give me we have to refer 3 people. Well, you don't, as you said, but there's ways to step into that. Everybody's not a personality fit or whatever
You're gonna
might
have a
happen.
product.
If it doesn't work, or if you don't feel comfortable, or if Travis hasn't done his job, call me back and I can lead you down a different path.
The reason that's important for agents is because it gives you control over the transaction. And I think most of your successful, like high producing agents understand that. I don't think a lot of your either newer or middle of the road producers who don't do as many transactions get how much their business can grow if they have more control over that transaction. Like realtors are the leaders of the transaction without question. Everybody goes to the realtor first. Realtors are the apex of the real estate transaction. And we understand that. And so if I'm a realtor and I'm referring somebody, Al, you've been a realtor. So when you refer somebody, if you can say, hey, I'm referring you to Travis Blayton for these reasons, whatever they perceive your value proposition to be, and then say, Travis is on my team. We're partners.
Yep.
What clients understand from that is that if something goes wrong, I have some level of obligation to you as a lender, to the referral partner, and I'm going to bend over backwards to make it right, because if I don't, like, my referral source gets cut off. Like there's a little bit of that aspect to it that I think people don't grasp. So from a realtor's perspective, making a good referral in the way that you've described is it helps you maintain control. It reduces confusion from the home buyer's perspective. And what we know from all the research that we've done and all the data that we have and all the surveys that were done is that confused buyers don't make good buying decisions.
That's
and then
correct.
even if they do, they have poorer transaction quality. Like the transaction isn't as smooth. And what people that, when things aren't smooth, stress levels increase. And when stress levels increase, those people are less likely to refer you their friends and family.
Yep.
So from a realtor's perspective, I know lenders feel like it's self-serving to teach realtors how to refer them. It's not. I'm trying to help you grow your business, whether it's me or some other lender down the road. If you refer them in a proper way, your business is going to be better off as a result.
Yeah. And I've got to have that mindset shift. And so I think I will schedule a class to have some agents come in and we can role play through that. We can talk through all that. So that's a great idea.
Yeah. I mean, it's an under talked about. Is that the right way to say that? People don't talk about it enough.
Yeah.
How important the smoothness and stress, like the lack of stress, can be in a home buying transaction. Like it's stressful no matter what. You're buying a house. All of a sudden you get to the end of that road from the realtors and lenders perspective, and you're at closing time. And then after that, the stress levels rise even more, because then you've got to pack up a house and move, and you've got to set up your new house. And there's all kinds of stuff that goes into buying a house and moving uprooting your family, moving wherever. Like that can be stressful. So if we can remove as much of that stress as we can from the transaction, the likelihood of that person being like 5-star rating worthy after the fact is going to increase tremendously. And you're going to get more business as a result down the road, because you were able to create a better process and a better transaction for the buyer.
Yep. I agree.
Like, sorry, real quick. Agents who say they have to refer 3 lenders in South Carolina, we're an attorney state. I bet they don't refer 3 attorneys. I bet they don't refer 3 home inspectors.
Yeah.
And honestly, the home inspection creates a bigger liability risk for the agent than the lender does. Like it's just a false mindset that I hope we can, at least with the 3 people that listen to this, change, you know?
That's a very good point about the attorneys and inspectors and other folks that they use as a part of their transactions. I wanted to we started a podcast off on the realtor lender relationship, and I think we want to stay with strategies that can help other people grow their business. So what are 1 or 2 things that you focus on and use that to grow and deepen your relationships that you have with real estate agents?
So I'd coach a group of real estate agents. So that's one way lenders can help their agents, is by coaching them. Now, the realtor has to be open to the coaching and be ready for it and be willing to be held accountable to certain things for that to work. But even if it's just like concepts that I can explain to real estate agents on how to grow their business. One glaring example that I would say 98% of realtors just flat out suck at, and about 85% of lenders flat
I
out
know
suck
what's
at,
coming.
is calling their database.
Yep.
Right. So it's like, and I've done this with a couple of my agents where I'm like, okay, I know that you are going to be poor at this, even if you say you're not. Right. And so we have a whole process and a whole strategy. Like we dedicate Thursdays to calling our past clients, all these things. And I think realtors should do something very similar, and I forget the exact stats, but it's like 93% of people that buy a house say they're going to use their same realtor again. And 12% actually do on their second go around. Part of that could be because those realtors got out of the business when times got harder. But the majority of that is because realtors did a poor job of maintaining a relationship with their clients after the closing. And so a simple strategy that we can help our realtors with is, cool, let's print out your database and bring it to my office, and let's dedicate 2 hours a couple times a month or a couple times a year, whatever, and let's just call them. And the scripting is very simple. Hey, Travis, it's Brian. I helped you buy 123 Main Street. I wanted to call and check in with you. By the way, you bought your house in 2021 for $350,000. It's worth $550,000 now. Holy cow. You just made $200,000 in 5 years. That's an incredible return. I just wanted to see if there's anything else I could do for you.
It was an honor to represent you.
At this point, you can look for other things that you can do. We can get really deep into the strategy, but at that point in the conversation, I'm saying things like, a lot of my other clients at this point at the time that they've owned a house are seeing things in their house that they want to change. Maybe you want to paint a wall, or maybe you have an electrical or plumbing issue. By the way, if you have any of that stuff going on, please contact me. I have a great list of preferred vendors that I work with that can help you with anything that you need. Well, what happens as a result of that? Let's say 1 out of 10 of your past clients. So if you have a 100-person database, you get 10 people that are asking for something. That is 10 opportunities for that real estate agent to refer one of their business partners.
Yep.
So let's say they need an estate attorney at that point. Cool. I'm calling the estate attorney, referring them a client, and then using that as an opportunity to become business partners and referral partners with that estate attorney. So like it can snowball on itself the more you deploy the strategy. And that doesn't even get to the fact that every year, 15% of your database is going to move. Even in a post-COVID world, 10% of your database is going to be moving every single year. So if you have a 100-person database, 10 of those people are going to be moving. Well, if 12% of people actually use their same realtor again, you're going to miss out on 9 out of 10 of those essentially.
Yeah.
And so it's like, let's not miss out on these transactions. Let's teach you a strategy that I can then hold you accountable to and even help you do. Because I'm happy for any realtor listening to this. If you have a database of people that you want me to help you call, I would love to do that for you.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we even have a program now that we can load their database into as long as they have names, email addresses, and the address of the house. And it sends them a monthly digest of what's sold around them and what's actively on the market around them. And it lets the agent know when the email goes out. That's the easiest phone call in the world. Hey, just want to make sure that you got your digest. It's got algorithms built in that give them an estimated value. They can call and simply have a conversation about that.
It's way more than that, as you know. I mean, it'll tell you whatever their algorithmic data is. It shows who's likely to sell soon, who's eligible for a refinance, who's active on the site, and just it creates a talking point for when you're talking to these people. But for every past client that you have, you should be able to get about a referral every year or so, right? So for every 100 people, you should be able to get 2 to 4 active client referrals from your database every single month, right? So if I have 100 people, I should be getting 48 leads from that. And if I close 25% of that, I should be able to close 12 transactions per year out of every single 100 people in my database, assuming I've done a good job of making the proactive effort to make my relationship continue with them. Right. I want to be in contact. And there's scripting that we can go into in a one-on-one with any agent that wants to, but I think that is by far the most underutilized tool that every single agent that's been in the business for a couple of years has that they just don't do.
Well, it's not just relation. I mean, it's not just realtors either. I mean, there's lenders out there. I was guilty of that for years that never reached out to past clients.
Yeah. And then shoot, like we're going back to value ads for realtors. On Wednesdays, typically for us, we're calling through any buyer that we've had pre-approved that hasn't transacted yet. I have a real story about why this is important to agents and why they should partner with a lender that utilizes this strategy. I was calling through my list. This is about a year ago. The buyer that I called, I got in touch with, they had been pre-approved for about 4 or 5 months and had not bought a house yet. Found out through the conversation that they had realized that they were pregnant. Well, a lot of realtors will put somebody on a drip campaign where it just shoots them MLS listings of houses in a certain criteria. The criteria that this agent had set had 3 bedrooms. Well, these people needed 4 bedrooms. So I made the phone call to the client, engaged in a conversation, figured out a need that the realtor had not uncovered yet, let the agent know, and legitimately this happened. Within 4 days of them switching the search criteria on their search, the buyer wrote an offer on a house and closed 30 days later.
That's value.
Well, it's a one-off, but there's so many of those one-offs that happen that it
Right.
becomes not a one-off anymore. It is a value add that we do. And those types of stories happen consistently when we are doing what our job is, which is trying to help our realtors grow their business. Like in this market at this point in time, there's what did we say on the last episode? 25% of the loan officers that were in 21 are left.
Yep.
That's good from the perspective that there's less competition for lenders. It's bad because anybody that's left is freaking
It's
good.
really good.
Like your competition out there now is high skilled, high quality lenders that know what the heck they're doing. And so how do we separate ourselves now? Well, the way that I have been successful separating myself from most other lenders is I am trying to help legitimately and genuinely trying to help my agents grow their business. One of the ways is by mining our database and mining our pre-approved borrowers for referrals or for ideas like the pregnant borrower who needed an extra bedroom. And those things happen more often than I think any lender or realtor realizes. And so they undervalue the importance of it.
Yeah. I mean, it's always been important to us to win together. And so doing stuff like that is a way that our business grows together and deepens the relationship and makes everybody wins. Is that the only tactic that you're doing right now to deepen that relationship?
I'm poor at socializing with agents as much as I would like to. My kids are of an age where I just don't have time.
Yeah.
Right. I've got 20-year friends. I've got my family, and the spare time that I have for socializing is just minimal compared to what it was 10 years ago for me. So when I'm deepening a relationship with an agent, it's typically in regards to business more than personal stuff at this point. And which I think is okay. Like I'm okay with it. And I hope my agents are okay with it. I want them to do well and I want to know them personally and I want to do things like that. But my value add is not in being better friends. It's in being a better partner for you. And so to answer that in the perspective of what am I doing for my agents at that point? Yeah, the database thing I think is huge. But the other part of it that I think a lot of lenders, when they get busy, especially go really fast on is their pre-approval process. And I think that's where the mistakes are made.
Yeah.
Like we talk about this in our teams. Our teams are set up to where we have like loan support, partner support within our team on the front end of a transaction and on the back end of a transaction. If our processor in our world, our LP2 makes a mistake and we miss a closing date, that's going to cost us a $200 gift card to a nice restaurant in the town they're buying in. Right. And an apology. And it sucks. I don't want to say that that's not something that we're not okay with that.
Right.
But if I make a mistake, then I can fix it. If I make a mistake on the front end when I'm issuing the pre-approval by miscalculating their income or missing something on the credit report, like your transaction goes bad and I've ruined our relationship.
Yep. The trust is diminished.
Completely wiped out. And so what I think we do better than most people is write golden pre-approvals. And part of that is just our experience and our skill set and the time we take on the front end. But we also have an additional step in that process that we can take where we can go through our fast track approval.
Yep.
And once that comes out, it is a loan commitment. You're essentially writing a cash offer at that point in time, which helps our agents in the negotiation process. It helps our agents in the fact that they can feel more confident in that buyer. They're spending less time so they can go focus on generating new business. There's a lot of value to what we do on the pre-approval side that you're actually better at than I am.
Well, especially when we're in the transition or have already started to transition from a seller's market to a buyer's market, where there's as interest rates decline and we have more competition for the houses on the market, like we've got to separate ourselves. And we both pride ourselves on the pre-approval upfront stuff. We've always done that well. I know for myself, I've missed on one pre-approval in my career, and I actively tell agents that, because we are very thorough in what we do. But the fast track pre-approval, I'm glad you brought that up, is gonna be real big over the next several years, because it allows us to remove a financing contingency from an offer. Like you said, making it the same as cash. Also makes it where you can close a lot faster. And when we both call the listing agents when our team makes an offer, it gives us that ability to say, no, this is not just us looking at it. We've had an underwriter make a credit decision. We need appraisal. We need a title work, and we're golden. And oftentimes we don't even need an appraisal if we've got a waiver. And so it helps us have our offer get accepted more often than not.
I don't think that before you move on from that, one of the things that's part of that process, you mentioned calling the listing agent on our buyer and our agent's behalf, either prior to or as the offer is being made. I can't tell you how many times we've won in multiple offer situations when we're not even the highest price because that phone call was made. It's amazing. Like a listing agent's responsibility is to their sellers. They want to choose the offer. Obviously price is important, but if they feel more comfortable that our transaction is going to close, they're willing to give up a couple $1,000s because the percentage chance of us closing is so much greater than somebody else closing that we are in essence creating transactions that for our buyer's agents and our referral partners that otherwise would not have occurred.
Yeah.
And so like when we say we want to make you more money, one of the ways we can do that is I can help you convert at a higher level. I can help you get more offers accepted. I can help you extract business from your database so that your business grows. I can help you extract business from your active and pre-approved clients. And I can teach you strategies that if you deploy, that you're going to end up growing your business as a result. So there's a lot of things that we do consistently just as part of our workflow that real estate agents will benefit from, and the ones that we work with do.
Absolutely. Well, I'm getting motion from the producer that we're out of time for episode 3. I hope we've covered and conveyed that who you work with matters, that the relationship, working as a team, can help you grow your business and have fun in the business that we're in. Again, just want to ask everybody, if you like the podcast, like what you're hearing, drop us a comment, share it. Please hit the subscribe button. We are actively working to get some guests lined up, get some sponsorships going. I don't know about you, I'm having a blast doing this. And so we hope that you're enjoying it as well. And we'll have episode 4 coming up soon.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right.